Greetings, my people. This is your brother B bringing to you yet again another episode 39 on this YouTube channel, Opps Opportunities for Black and Brown, Brown and Black. And on this episode 39, I'll be talking to you about the difference between a American and a Wellfarian. So, an American is, a person that's, in my opinion, a person that is born here and that pays taxes and contributes to society and does positive things for the most part, doesn't uh, doesn't put a burden on anybody, you know, and just either learns from parents and aunt and uncle how to integrate themselves into the 9 to 5, or if they're entrepreneurs and they employ people and they pay them well and they pay taxes and they're just part of society. That's what I consider an American. And then you have a Wellfarian, a term that I came up with. Whew. I want to say when I was 16, something like that. Yeah, I think I had just had came back from the motherland the first time. So a Wellfarian to me is a person that needed help at one point in their life. There's different cases, but needed help at one point in their life, through the government system of welfare, or different government aid, and found a loophole to leech off of the system. Whether, a man or a female or a man, or whatnot, do not discriminate. I've seen different situations where women purposely have kids because they know they'll have money per kid if they're a single struggling mom and only makes a certain amount of money, and will still keep, the baby daddy in the loop, but will hide it. To me, that's a Wolfarian, because the thing is, you're depending on everyone else's tax money and you continue to have kids. And this is where it gets interesting, because you can't set a high standard for your kids or be upset later on in life that your kids are doing the same thing. Start having kids at a early age or whatever. And I don't mean to discriminate, but the thing is, if you start having kids at an early age during these really hard times and you don't have an education, what can you really offer those kids? Unless you have family members or people that are willing to help you babysit. So when it comes to that situation, you're just becoming a burden on society and you're taking advantage of the whole situation. Or where there's, a couple where they only make a certain amount of money on purpose, and the man only works a certain amount of hours on purpose to get government aid, and then is a burden to that is a burden to society, because you're having kids at the expense not of what you're earning, but because you're getting government aid. And now we're having even people from different countries coming over here, refugees or whatnot, and they start having kids here, and if they don't make enough money, we have to pay for that. To me, that is unfair, and more unfair because I know people stuck at the border on the other side that want to come over here, and they will never get that kind of courtesy. Those people are also Wolfarians. So Wolfarian is very diverse. It's a very big, it's a lot of sectors, a lot of different, like how I said, if there's people taking advantage of the system, because there's loopholes, and instead of working or trying to get an education, you're leeching off the system, and that's why you don't work. You're a Wellfarian, And as things get more expensive and these minimum paying jobs and not having a good education, if there's a big growth of younger generations not educating themselves and not having decent jobs, that whole Wellfarian lifestyle is going to be very attractive. You know, Uncle Sam paying all your bills, your food and everything. But what's gonna get very dangerous if that becomes a reality and it starts growing. Well, it's already a reality. What I'm saying, when it starts getting into a high percentage of, let's say, 40, 50% of the population Wellfarian, where they're controlling what they give to you as food, drink, and where to live. And even the medicine they give you, that's dangerous because they're gonna be regulating all of that. So there is a price to pay for those people that are leeches to the system. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong if you're a single father, a single mother, and you're falling on hard times and you need that help. That's why it's there. But to take advantage, and start going up to the clubs or like Vegas and splurging and all this shit, and you don't even have a job, and you have 3 different baby daddies or 3 different baby mamas or whatever the case is, it gets to a point where those kids don't have a solid foundation or a good example to follow. And if you're that kind of a person, that you are a Wellfarian and you have kids and you start having like very high expectations for your kids, if they didn't have an example to follow, how could you expect them to be better? You can't push them in school or whatnot, but the thing is, once they go through puberty and they start growing older and wiser and they start seeing what you're about, they will most likely laugh and see what you're really about. And they will get to a point where it's like, damn, if you're doing this, how come I can't? And at that point, what can you say? So that's why we need to be very careful to not be misled. I've fallen in hard times and whatnot. Thank God that I have never, had to get, food stamps or anything like that. I've been very blessed. I've been through very hard times. And I've been blessed that people have helped me out. Not even family, like other people, And thanks to all those people they know. So that's what I have to say about this episode about Wellfarians. The difference between an American and a Wellfarian. Like, if you're here, you have a purpose, and at some point you have to work to make ends meet, whether you're an entrepreneur or you do the 9 to 5 or whatever the case is, as long as it's legal, you have to work. But the thing is, when you start having loopholes in the system and you start creating Wellfarians and the populations of Wellfarians start growing, it's not good. And another reason why the Wellfarian population is growing is because, like I've said in other episodes, where since the 50s, from the good old days, fast forward to just the price on goods have skyrocketed. Gas, housing, what you buy at the grocery store, everything has skyrocketed. So there's a big imbalance from the price of goods to people's wages. And that kind of lifestyle starts to be very attractive. And unfortunately, people start spreading the word about these loopholes, and people start taking advantage. And I'm starting to notice more and more of those people doing it. So I don't appreciate those kind of people, leeches and Wellfarians. And that's what I have to say about it. So if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next episode, where I'll be talking about in episode 40 about gang members. So stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in. See you guys on the next one.